What's popping, Adeayo?
I'm good, my brother. What's happening now?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great.
It's good to be back. Good to be back. New episode. A lot happening in the Nigerian music industry right now. Shout out to Ira Star, the biggest gangster in the music game right now. She's killing it. Shout out to everybody.
All right.
Killing it, man.
All right. Moving on from your shout outs. All right. So, since the beginning of the year, there've been like this conversation about minting new stars in the music industry in Nigeria. So, what does it mean for new artists to blow up?
Traditionally, what it means for an artist to blow up is that such an artist breaks into the Lagos market. So that's where the central market used to be, and that is where the central market still is Lagos, right? But so you had to go through Lagos. Your music, wherever you were dropping music, maybe you're dropping from Port Harcourt, Enugu, you know, Kogi, wherever you're dropping music from, that music had to blow up in Lagos. Then from Lagos, it's going to spread across the rest of the country because Lagos determine what the country listens to. Lagos tell the country what to listen to. You feel me? So yeah, so that that is what it means to blow up. You have to blow up in Lagos and then maybe drop a hit song, then you drop another hit song, then you drop a hit collaboration, then you can now say, okay, yes, I don't arrive, I'm blown. Then others start following, like radio plays start coming, then you start getting gigs, you start getting endorsements, then you become a star. So that, like, traditionally before social media and streaming platforms came and changed the game, blowing up was a very was a one way stuff. It was linear, just one pipeline. You go to Lagos, you get big there, then you spread to the rest of the country. So that is what it used to mean to actually blow up, but it's kind of like different now.
So, is there any need to adjust our definition of what it means to blow?
Absolutely, absolutely. The reason why we keep saying, "Oh, no new artists is blown up," Nigerian music industry is not minting new stars, is because we're kind of sticking to our the old definition of what it means to blow up. That in your face kind of blow up. That you have to blow up in Lagos kind of blow up. That you have to be a quote unquote mainstream kind of blow up. So that is why we'll say, okay, we've not seen the version of Charlie Poppy and and Odumo the Black from last year, and I've not seen the version of Shea Vibes and Ashake from two years ago. So it's because we're still defining what it means to blow up by actually becoming popular. you know what is blowing up means popularity and not necessarily success for people. So we have to adjust because the industry is changing. We are at the infant stage, or the let me say the early stage of a maturing industry, of an industry that is becoming what an actual global music industry should look like. We're just in the infant stage, and it's shaping everything. It's shaping from consumption to how we drop music to how artists even blow up and market music, right? So if you look at social media and streaming platforms, you get to understand that they've impacted Nigerian music in a way that alters everything. And now, so what does it mean to blow up now? You have artists who have strong digital presence. You know, they might not be in your face kind of artists. They're not being maybe talked about across on social media. They're not quote unquote popular, but they are successful. So when an artist is successful, the artist is blown. For example, take Sounds or Odile or Yadin. These guys have what over a million Spotify monthly listeners. Monthly listeners. They also have millions of streams, and they have like strong digital footprint. They've hacked the algorithm, and like Spotify will keep recommending the songs, and Apple Music and these DSPs will keep recommending the song if you're using it. So they have millions of streams. They make good money from DSPs every month. So in that sense, would you say these guys haven't blown up because they're not quote unquote popular? Because you cannot use them as they don't look like what it used to mean to blow up. So if we follow that definition, we'll say, okay, these guys haven't blown up. These guys haven't blown up. But when in the real sense, they've actually blown up. So it's changing. So when we look at it digitally, it's changing. So with social media, people are able to build communities, and right now, communities play a major role in what determines who blows up. Let's look at people who have blown up in the last 2 years. Um, Starting from Ashake. And Ashake is special, right? It's just like supremely talented, and he was able to make music that just changed everything and just impacted the scene, right? But he had some sort of community before that. He had like the OU community that has been following his music for like a decade. You know, he has he had the celebrity connections Although he wasn't a star, he was already in the corridors of power. You know, corridor of stardom. He was a backup dancer to Skibby. He was road manager to Shaggy. You know, he's been there. He's friends with Yemoli, Bokoli. So he's around these people. So he's been there waiting for his moment, right? And when Omokwe happened, he was ready. He was ready. The music was there, the personality was there, the brand was there. You know, so he was walking behind the scene for years, waiting for that moment. So there was community. Look at Shea Vibes, right? Shea Vibes had significant offline community. You know, trenches, people like Ikorodu, people that are listening to his music in the trenches. You understand? So when he eventually got a breakout, let's call it a breakout single with Chance that translated into digital success, like commercial digital success across streaming platforms, social media interactions. He was able to take that, he was able to build with that and also grow his offline business as well. So those offline listeners became more of online listeners as well. So it blew up its community. Like same thing with Charlie Poppy. Charlie Poppy was kind of popular on TikTok even before it blew up. You know, he had that TikTok trenches, TikTok community. It was building communities. And same thing with Odumodu Black. Odumodu Black is the creation of three communities. Yeah, I mean, Odumodu has been making music for what? Over 10 years before it blew up, right? But is the creation of three communities. So Odumodu Black is a combination of three communities. Number one, the Abuja community, which he gallantly flaunts their flag. You know, is a creation of the hip hop community. You know, that underground hip hop community always, you know, he was one of those rappers who make what they call backpack music that like satisfy the cravings of hardcore hip hop fans, like people that love to listen to underground hip hop. You know, he was there. He also had the support of the alter community after he got signed to Native. And so these three communities came together and blew him up. So he had communities. So everyone blew up courtesy of the community. I mean, including other aspects as well. So being able to build communities like and using social media to also build communities. So now blowing up right now is different from, I mean, blowing up in this age is different from, you know, when Whiskey blew up in 2010, when Davido blew up, when Bado blew up, you know. Even it's kind of like different from when Ruga blew up, when Rema blew up, when Ira Star, O'Malley, Joe Boy, Fireboy, when they all blew up, it was different. Right now, you can genuinely blow up just digitally. Like you make good money and you also get offline traction in terms of social media followership and in terms of even endorsement deals and gigs, right? But you might not be popular. People who do not follow your music, like if people who are not part of your community, you know, would not know what you are up to. So, for example, let's take sounds. For example, if you're not part of that community, if you're not part of the people who follow his music, you know, who know when he drops music, who listen to his music on streaming platform, you would not know this is one of the like fastest rising artists in Nigeria. You know, last year, one of his songs, the one with Fiv, was among the top 10 most streamed songs on Apple Music last year in Nigeria, right? So when someone has that kind of song, can we say he has not blown up? He has blown up, but because it's not just in the traditional sense, and that's what social media does, right? So we have to like adjust our understanding of what it means to blow up. There's social media, there's community. So now with social media and streaming platform, it actually changed a lot of things because before having communities doesn't necessarily translate into mainstream success the way it does now. This is it. Like, take for example, Jerick, the guy, the superstar rapper from Enugu, right? Agoro Banks, this guy's killing it from the east, right? So what Jerick, I think last year Jerick sold out 10K in Enugu, 10K capacity, like filled up, right? He's able to do that now because there's streaming for him to connect with a listener base. There's also social media to engage that listener base with content, right? So he's able to sustain that community and build it. So this was not easy for say someone like Zoro, who held it down in the southeast for years, right? It was not easy for him to blow up there and stay there and not need to come and blow up in Lagos. You grab. So someone like Jerick doesn't really need to come blow up in Lagos. He's already blown. If you need Jerick, you're going to go hook up with him in Enugu. You guys put out your music together, and we're going to, like, it's still going to scale. It's going to like flow in here and scale here. He's done songs with Black Bones. He's done songs with OD. He's done songs. He did an album Psycho YP. You know, because They're popular because now he's working with mainstream artists and he doesn't really need to have that kind of quote unquote Ruga or Mali kind of blow that is like national. You understand? His blow is still pretty much regional based. But while it is regional based, it is still mainstream enough. So same thing with Ashake. Ashake's major listeners, we can say they are Southwestern. They're based in the Southwest, right? That's not to say he doesn't have listeners outside of the Southwest. He's one of the artists with the biggest listener base in Nigeria, like spread in Nigeria and even overseas. Huge streams, right? But you know that his music primarily appeals to people in the Southwest. Like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, an artist like Shay Vibe, forget even 5 years ago, like Shay Vibe before he got chance, like he couldn't translate that particular offline success, like offline followership he had into impacting the mainstream, into becoming a star that he is now. You know, we just know, okay, there's a guy called Shay Vibes doing something great for the street, but you know, it was not felt digitally and online, right? But now with social media, with streaming platforms and everything, it was able to translate it online. So that's what it means to blow. You know, it's the definition of blowing is changing. You know, so we cannot keep waiting for, for an artist to have that maybe a Charlie Poppy moment where okay, it is known all across the country before we can say they've blown. Take for example a guy in the north called Amisu Breaker. You've heard that name before? Of course you do. You've not heard the name before. I grew up in the north anyway. So Amisu Breaker is very popular. Like he's a king in the north. Like he's a king in the north. If you're going to do a concert in the north, you need to get Amisu Breaker there because there are going to be people that will just show up just for Amisu, right? If you want to know how big this guy is, just take a canapé, say from Badori, Niger, to anywhere, and look at the screen of the canapé. Look out for the artists you find. They take like 4 canapé. You're going to, at least in 2, you're going to find Amisu's sticker there. He's very popular on YouTube. His YouTube numbers really good up there in Nigeria, right? So Amisu has blown in a region. In the north, he has blown, right? But if we're going to go through the old definition of blowing, of having to blow in Lagos, Amisu hasn't blown. You understand? Amisu hasn't blown. So now let's look at someone who has blown recently, like in the between late last year to this year. I would say King Madi. No, she dropped the EP last year and it's like it blew up and it's still blowing up this year, right? So King Madi has blown and she's amazing. She's going to be one of the biggest stars in the future of Nigerian music, right? She's blown. So she has that national spread, quote unquote. She blew up from Lagos, from the central market, right? But let's look at someone like Jerick. Like that didn't blow up from the central market, but blew up from the east. Some people going by old definition of blow, they'll say Jerick never blew. Jerick hasn't blown yet. King Madi is bigger than Jerick and stuff like that. But can King Madi sell 10K in any way in Nigeria? No, because she doesn't have Jerick's community. She has mainstream attention, and definitely she's going to get big and big and become one of the biggest forces in the mainstream. But she doesn't have community. So when someone has significant community and has nurtured that community, scaled that community, and that community has now become monetized and is able to propel them to success, they have blown. You understand? They have blown. So music industry is changing. What artists from 5 years ago were not able to achieve because they were not able to exploit social media and streaming platforms to nurture their community and blow from there, without having to come to Lagos. They can do it now. Someone like Eriga, shout out Eriga, he ran so Charlie Poppy could walk. Someone like Zoro, like what he did, like he did all that so Jerick can enjoy the success he's enjoying now, and Aguero Banks can be Aguero Banks and be killing it. You understand? So that is the way it is. We have to readjust our definition of what it means to blow up. You don't have to wait for an actual national spread. You don't have to wait for an Ashake kind of blow. If you are blowing up in a particular region, the numbers are backing the fact that you're blowing up. It's translating into social media following. It's also translating into streams and endorsement and money in your bank account. My brother, you don't blow.
All right. So looking at the mainstream, is it becoming more difficult for new artists to blow up?
Kind of. There's the different angles to this stuff. Now, mainstream, right? The thing with the mainstream is that there are artists that now The artists that they follow that central part, that center, that's where they blow. That's where they are trying to blow from. So that means you don't have a community you have nurtured like someone who is blowing from a different part of the country. Are you following me? So say a Jerick now, right? Jerick has a strong community in the southeast. You understand? Say a Hamisu Breaker has a strong community in the north, and say a Shea Vibes, has a strong community in the southwest. That all translated into mainstream success for them, right? You that like you're an emerging artist, a new signee trying to blow from the center means that there's no community, and they have to try to build that community from the mainstream. So, for example, say a Maven signs new artist, or Choke City signs an artist, or Aristocrat, anybody signs an artist, right? And the artist is a mainstream act. It's not an artist that has been punching, trying to lock like before, like on the ground, and trying to cultivate a community. Like see, Anodumodu Black that's been cultivating the Abuja community, and his music has gone into some parts of Lagos. Core hip hop fans know the music, right? That's different. But this one, fresh out of the boat. I mean, a couple of tracks to his name, but still pretty much fresh out of the boat, right? He's signed and he makes mainstream music. And now he's trying to break into the mainstream. He's trying to break from the center. And it's harder to break from the center now. That's a fact. Because right now we have more artists trying to blow than we've ever had before. The barrier of entry has dropped. 5 years ago, even 5, 7, 10 years ago, it's just few artists. Let me not say few artists, but few labels, number of artists trying to blow up, because the money was limited, opportunities were limited, But right now, you just have your money. There's streaming platforms. You upload your song. You push your content on social media. You pay influencers. You run your marketing and stuff like that. Everyone is giving a shot. And everyone is trying to blow. So there's more competition. There's more competition, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's the signs of a maturing industry. It's the signs of a maturing industry, and it's the best time to be an artist. Yeah, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how they say, marketing music is so expensive right now. Influencers, they're trying to break our backs. Radios are asking for too much. The blogs are asking for a lot of money. TikTok influencers are trying to rob us. Like, yes, true, music marketing is expensive because there's more money in music. Because there's also more platforms to service, right? But when it works, bro, you're going to make ridiculous money, right? So it's the best time to be an artist, irrespective of how difficult it would be to blow up. So we have to look at that. People that are trying to crack the mainstream as new artists will not have it as easier as someone who has an audience is cultivating. Say a DJ YK, he has an audience. When he drops his mix, he knows the people that are going to listen to it. He knows where the streams are coming from. He knows the platform he's going to focus on. TikTok. That's it. But you're a new artist, you just signed, you are now trying to build a community from mainstream listeners, trying to convince them that I'm good enough, pay attention to me, become part of my community. It's not very easy. So that's it. And also, I think one of the reasons why artists are trying to, as new artists haven't blown yet this year, or at least it looks slow, so to say, because the year is still just me. Things are picking up already. So it's because Nigerian music right now, the soundscape seems to be in a limbic state. Seems to be in a limbo. It's not are we moving forward? Are we moving from our piano, or are we still doing our piano? So artists kind of have their legs across both territories. I'm a piano here, trying to do what next, find what next year. So you try to experiment. They feel and they don't feel, you quickly make an piano and give them something familiar. Understand? So it's not certain yet. So, and that is making it a bit challenging for artists to blow up, because for artists to blow up, most times they rely on the familiar. I'll explain it. When Ashake blew up in January 2022, Amapiano was already popping. It was already popping. We had huge songs, K-Star, Hallelujah, stuff like that. Amapiano was doing the madness already, kind of, but it was not proper madness the way Ashake did. What Ashake did was bring his style, infuse Fuji, hip hop flow, the melodies, the vibrancy, the swag, the brand, the larger than life persona. He was ready, and my God, is he talented? Is he talented? So it changed everything. It changed everything. It gave Nigerian music a new lease of life. Like injected energy, in Nigerian music, right? And that kind of like we rode that way for 2 years. Now look at everyone that kind of like blew up after Shake. She Vibes followed the pattern. Amapiano added his own melodies to it, Akpala melodies, the the Islamic celestial touch to it as well, and use it added his own identity to it and blew up from it. OD was already like knocking at the door. He got this Latin verse and Picanto, and when he blew up, he dropped Declan Rice and doubled down from it because the industry was already hot. They didn't pay attention. You understand? And the next person who blew up was Charlie Poppy. And what did he do? He went to Benin, took some of those street lingo, took his best song, the way I see it, Elon Musk, like I see Elon Musk, Oba Pluto, beg your pardon. It went there, picked that Palmondi melodies, added it to it. So I'm a piano and blew up. Now what they did was, and even those that were able to score like impactful moments in their career using my piano, see someone like Casey that added the other flute to my piano, so they added their own touch to the familiar. There's something already on ground that listeners are familiar with. You just needed to come from a different angle and capture the attention of listeners. Right now, new artists are not able to come from a different angle because there's nothing like to actually work with right now. And my piano is played out. I know I've said this a couple of times, but it's played out. Trust me, as far as Nigerian goes, there's nothing that you want to drop as far as my piano goes now that we've not heard. I'm sorry. That is good to actually genuinely excite me. I've had Omopo, I've had Sungba, I've had Palazzo, I've had Alilu, we've had You Want to Bam Bam, we've had Mona Lisa. We had different sides. Then we've had the madness She Vibes. We had the madness Charlie Poppy did on his EP, right? Then of course Casey came again and added something to it. So that's it. Like it's stretched. It's played out, right? So it's in that tiring state, that state of diminishing return. So if there's the new sound, when a new sound does pop up, then we're going to likely see a new artist pop up because a new artist then will be able to add his own style to it. Right now, we have new artists, genuinely good artists, sounding like versions of older artists. That's an issue. If you're not sounding like Young John, there's this guy had a song, Jesus Christ, sounds so much like Young John. Like so much, like it sounded like something that didn't make Young John's album. And it's really good. And it's a really good song. It just doesn't have identity. You're not going to blow up like that. Sorry to say. Because that sound is already attached and familiar to somebody. It doesn't carry identity. And there's nothing striking about it. So then you have people sounding like Rema, some sound like Omale, there's no identity. So I think emerging artists is losing, they're not able to like infuse their identity on a strong note on something familiar. When Omale blew up in 2020, there was mid-tempo Nigerian music was making a comeback. I mean, already made a comeback, Sika, 16, 17, Easy, Techno, Runtown, that Banku, Flow, the bounce, mid-tempo, it made a comeback, after the pom-pom sound that preceded it. Then after that, it was again, they just these boys just came, Slim Kids, EDOS, Mr. Ari just came and really just up the tempo. Yeah, Shaku just up the tempo again, right? Then Zlatan came again, leg walk, another hop tempo, killing them, leg walk and everything, hop the tempo. Then Nera came again, whoop, hop the tempo again. It was like, so between 2018 to 2020, 18, 19, 2020, we had kind of like a very up tempo. The industry was up tempo. So 2020 was when the experimentation with Amapiano started, like in Afrobeat. Then we also had then Made in Lagos happened, and we had mid-tempo songs. Then Essence blew up, stuff like that. Then Omale happened. So Omale was able to add his own that distinctive touch to that mid-tempo vibe. Because then, I mean, it's like that's what you do when you blow. You bring your own vibe to something you already know, like to an extent, right? Rema brought his own vibe to Afrobeat. Like that trap, like who is this kid trying to like trapping like someone from Atlanta? Trapping. Did Iron Man to me be was rapping, was flowing, was doing Indian melodies, stuff like that. You understand? So it was new, it was refreshing. Right now it's just like, okay, this is familiar, like you sound like this person, and it's not a bad thing. We also like everything we're doing right now in Nigerian pop scene, we can trace back to one decor. Mushi to Moit. That's the blueprint of Nigerian pop music. Before Whiskey also evolved it with Superstar. So it's, but I mean, so it's like, okay, there's hardly anything you can do that is unprecedented. If you want to make an hybrid of Afrobeat and funk music, Willie Obiano did it in the 1960s. Right? So if you want to make vibrant jazz and funk hybrid, people did it in the 80s, right? There's pretty much nothing that is new under the sun anymore, but there's nothing that beats identity. Identity, and I think emerging artists need to understand identity, right? And I think because maybe saturation, so there's that as well. So that's kind of like what we can say, we can attribute to why we're not seeing new emerging artists blow up. Yeah.
Okay, so finally, are there steps emerging artists can take to hasten their path to success?
I mean, these things, right? There's no formula. There's no say now. So the work now. So yeah, one size fits all. There's nothing like that. But we can call it a blueprint, or call it a guide, right? And a guide and blueprints and guides, they adjust, they evolve according to eras. You understand? I used to be in the time of the Bengali Subaba P Square when they blew up. It's not what necessarily worked for them one day and co. And it's not what works for them, Wiz and co. and Davido and co. Right? So it's changing, it's evolving, right? It's evolving. And right now, communities, that is where it is at. That's now where it did be that. Like that's where it is. Communities, building communities. Right. And I think artists themselves, label themselves rather, would be more obliged to sign artists with some communities. Like look at the last couple of years, or let's even say last year, the artists I think kind of like that caught my attention, that were like buzzing on the ground. Someone like Badman Nico. You know that name? Badman Nico, I can't say the rest because it's very vulgar. I don't say it well. Badman Nico, like that guy's he has the street on lock. At least to an extent. To an extent. Like he has the street on lock. I watched a video of him performing, I think at Bella's show. Come on, see people singing along to, and that was an IB. People were singing along to songs. I saw him perform at She Vibes' show. People were singing along. There was the day I was passing Ojota, trying to link to good, and they're playing a song. You go to Baba Shop in a lap where you won't cut your hair, they play Batman Nico song. That's blown. And I was able to do that he cultivated an offline community. You understand? Those people listen to a song in the barber shop, in roadside, at Ojota, they necessarily would not post about him. They're not even on social media, but they know where to find the music. Then if they go on Audio Mark, they'll find his music there. They know how to connect with his music, and they possibly know where to go and find him perform. Communities, very, very important communities. OD had a community. By OD, I mean Odumodu Black. Yeah, he had a community. He was cultivating before he blew up. Charlie had an online community, TikTok. She Vibe had a community. Ashake had a community, right? And I don't like to use Ashake as an example because he's a special person. He's a special man, right? So it's communities are very important. It's very important, and it helps to it gives you a stronger fighting chance. People, that okay, if I drop the song, there are people who engage it. Like people who don't care for the mainstream to tell them this is what to listen to. You understand? Now, but by Nico's primary listeners, they don't need the mainstream to tell them. They don't need me to go tweet about it or write about it and say, this is who you need to listen to. Who need me to write, like the people who need me to talk about it, they are me and you. People like me and you, mainstream listeners, people who they are not part of Badman Nico's community. Their attention needs to be pushed onto the music, right? Like say, okay, this is what's happening here. So, and when people will be able to say, okay, this is what's happening here, is when you have built communities and you have traction. If I'm going to turn your attention to say, okay, there's this DJ now causing problem. People like YK, TOE, or what's his name? I say TOE. There's this guy, Weezy gave money, then those guys making crazy music. All those guys, right? They're getting traction, right? And that's why I'm going to talk about them. And yeah, GOE. Thank you, GOE. Right? And okay, I'm going to say okay, GOE, YK Mule, they are bringing quintessential, the soul of Nigerian street music to digital platforms, curating it for an online audience and taking it to the rest of the world. But that's what they're doing. Before then, we had Chicken, or whatever it is he's doing now. Yeah. Yeah, we had DJ Chicken, we had Fokati, we had there was a lot of them then. Like you go to hear the mixes, like this mixes, like the BPM. They will take a song, like the trademark BPM, increase it, like you know that this music is coming out from this place. You understand, right? So that music still exists, and now it's even online. But the reason you are not necessarily paying attention to it, or the reason it's not coming to you, is because you don't interact with it. There's a community that interacts with it. Communities, right? I cannot overemphasize the need for communities. Like it's really important to have communities as an emerging artist. There's no substitution for good music. Let's just face it. A lot of you niggas are whack. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you guys there, but good music, man. When I heard Omale the first time, ever, it was bad influence. It was bad influence. I can remember the year. I can remember where I was. When I had Omale's pandemic. I was like, God damn, who is this brother? Who is this brother? It's distinction. Nothing can beat good music. Recently, shout out to NBA for Africa for what they do for the culture, for what they do for the ecosystem. They put out an album, and on this album, there's this guy called Jordan Style. This boy was just wavy with it. He was just wavy. He was just good. He will interpolate fast, like he would take, like run that fast line kind of flow. Next thing he go and tap Ladipo. Like, bro, who's this guy? I went online and tweeted, who the hell is Jordan Style? And people tagged him, and we had a bit of like, hey, big ups, guy, big ups for you, doing fantastic, right? So, talent will always speak for you, right? I mean, it's not a guarantee that you will blow up if you are talented, right? But it helps people to connect with your music. It helps the music to resonate, and when it resonates, then you can now build communities off that. Right, the music has to be good. Sorry, but if you're sounding like someone else, if you're sounding like Joe Boy, you're sounding like Omale, trying to sound like Rema, you have to be better than them for you to get my attention. I'm sorry, you have to be better than them, and those are crazily good artists. If you're going to sound like Ashake, bro, you have to be better than Ashake. For me to actually maybe not necessarily better than Ashake, but you have to do Ashake good. You understand that Ashake level good. You have to be able to replicate it if you're going to get my attention. That's not easy. Find yourself. Find what is true to you. Make good music. It's very important for emerging artists to dedicate themselves to the craft of making good music. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's consistency, hard work. Keep recording. Keep trying different things. When you try different things, and there's an underlying marker in everything, I think that's who you are. That's where I see it. I feel if you try trap, try hip hop, try trap, try drill, try R&B, try soul, try jazz, try Afro pop, try highlife, and all that. If within all the song, and you can still find one particular something in the sound that makes people know, okay, this is you, then that's the soul of your music. There's no genre you want to pour Mali on that when I listen to it, I know this is that man. Or Rema, I know this is this person. There's a way they convey the music. There's a way they convey the music. Okay, this is this person. So there's a soul to their music. There's a personality to it. And it's not negotiable. That's what separates successful artists from unsuccessful artists. That's what who blows from who no blows. To a large extent. Charlie Poppy's music has striking identity. You listen to it and you know, okay, this is Charlie Poppy. This is unlike what any other person is making. Right? So there's that. Absolutely important. Good music. And consistency. You have to be consistent with it. Keep grinding, keep pushing, keep working hard. I mean, someday it might just happen for you. You can never tell. And it's the blowing up, the way you blow is changing. The industry has become decentralized. You understand? It's going to be a long way to build the industry we want with the right structures, with the right platforms, covering different stuff, like in the US, for example. Let's just take hip hop, for example, alone. There are people killing it in Chicago, like the business Chicago, they're killing it, going on shows, and they're even able to go on nationwide shows and everything. And their media platforms, like documenting it there, right there in Chicago. Then you have Atlanta, you have what's happening in LA, you have what's happening in New York and stuff like that. You have media platform dedicated to just covering country music, radio stations dedicated to just country music, structure, right? It's going to take us a minute for us to get there, but the industry is getting decentralized. It's getting decentralized. That's why Jerick has blown. That's why Jerick is a star in his own right. And that's why guys will leave Lagos and fly to Enugu to go and work with him without him necessarily blowing in Lagos. I don't think you know a Jerick song. Sorry. But can you say he has not blown? Yeah. So he has blown. He has blown. 10 years ago, is this the case? That's not the case. Anybody who blew 10 years ago, you possibly know their song and you know their name. You understand? It's changing, right? So, and it's a good thing for emerging artists. It's a good thing for emerging artists. Like someone like Siki already shown us that you do not need to blow here to blow. I think he defiled the norm with Love 120 when he blew up internationally. Like you can be a global superstar without actually even, like, your success story doesn't necessarily have to come from, like, your blow up story doesn't have to come from Nigeria, right? We've seen Thames also defile the norm. She's an anomaly, even, I mean, a blessed one at that, doing things that are unprecedented, achieving things that are remarkably, like so remarkable that now a lot of artists, even we the listeners, we the people, we the creators and everything, we cannot even conceive it years ago, the things she's done, right? So we're at an age where the industry is changing, the music is changing. If I ask you who's Adeayo, you possibly don't know him. And I wonder, people who are going to watch it are going to wonder, who is this person behind the camera who don't know these people, right? Maybe you don't know him, you possibly know sounds and co. These guys, even the average listener might not know them because they're not like quote unquote blown, but they're doing really well. They're doing really well. So it's about being able to harness what's available and build an audience, cultivate an audience. And this is what I think labels should adjust accordingly. Instead of just picking a fresh talent, grooming him, throwing that talent out there and say, okay, go and build the community. Let your music work for you, and you compete with these stars and carve out the community within the industry. It's going to kind of, you start changing from that artist development, format to more of a signing artists with community format. Artists with traction format. People will start signing artists that just like they're having a moment. Your song is popping on TikTok. You have a community interacting with your song. Yeah, you have a community interacting with your song on TikTok. They are going to be more obliged to sign such an artist and invest in such an artist compared to, okay, you're just a fantastic young guy, you're talented, nobody knows you, we're going to like house you, you're going to record a lot of music, we're going to brand you, put you out there, you go on media tours and try to get people to pay attention to you. They're going to start moving from that. I think, I'm just guessing, they might start moving from such format, to more community-based format. And that's why communities are very important. And with social media, with streaming platforms, I mean, it gives you the opportunity to build communities, unlike what people were unable to do, and they were unable to fully harness the potential of their music years ago, right? So at the end of the day, right, bottom line, now God's able to blow. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of there's an element of luck to it that you can never overlook. Like, it's so essential, right? That you do everything right, and sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. It just doesn't happen. But so there's an element of luck to it, right? And the people who get lucky are those who work hard, stay consistent, and when you get lucky, what is going to keep you moving, what's going to sustain you, is ability to make good music, right? And that's factual.